Strong thunderstorms are the rule tonight along kind of a prefrontal type boundary and a convectively left over low pressure, an MCV as we call them, has with those two things in mind and a cold front north of all that, we have kind of this slow moving line of thunderstorms, a pretty extensive line. I mean, we're talking about going all the way up into Canada even, and all the way down here even into the St. Louis area where they don't need a drop of rain. But yet they're getting, and occasionally we are seeing, now earlier we saw during the peak heating of the day, we saw a lot more thunderstorm warnings, and before they started throwing out outflow boundaries as well. Matter of fact, that's what's happened with a lot of these storms. Matter of fact, there you can see the boundary right there. That outflow boundary has surged out ahead of these storms, so these storms are primarily outflow driven or outflow dominant, as I like to call it. A recent warning, though, has come up here around the Lafayette area, over toward Attica. But as you can see here as well, look right here, we got this outflow starting to surge out in front of these as well, which means they'll predominantly be kind of a heavy rain, maybe some hail type of setup. And some wind damage. You don't usually see much of a tornado threat with these type of storms, as the outflow pushing out in front of these things doesn't allow the storms to be based at the surface anymore. And of course, to get tornadoes, you got to have vorticity being stretched into the vertical into a thunderstorm updraft. And when the updrafts don't even start at the ground, you got a problem. Around Indianapolis, you can see some cloud streaks coming in. Sometimes the Doppler can pick those up. Those are low-level cumulus clouds in the flow ahead of this line. I think this line of storms will continue to weaken overall with time. And we also got the dynamics that are going to be kind of moving away from this thing, too, with time. So overall, yes, thunderstorms are going to be possible, even into Indianapolis, maybe even into portions of southern Illinois, southern Indiana, northern Kentucky, maybe even Ohio, portions of Ohio by morning. But the severity is going to be much reduced because we're going to see less and less in terms of dynamics right now. Here's the general depiction right now of the line of storms. And as you can see, weakens with time, kind of goes into Ohio, get a little bit of a resurgence in the toward early tomorrow into the afternoon. But we're going to be looking at a system that's going to be becoming increasingly divorced of dynamics. And here's where they are as of now. You can see the stronger dynamics and the bulk shear. But as we go through time, look how it just basically disappears with time as we come under more and more under the influence of a ridge. And most of the stronger dynamics are way up into Canada and along the international border, and in coming days will be coming down to the south ahead of another storm system. But here you are again. Strongest dynamics are up in Michigan, some even in Indiana, and hence some of those storms are still kind of flaring up. But you can see the majority of the stronger dynamics are way north, so you're left behind with a meandering old front and in a fairly moisture-laden atmosphere with high heat and humidity, and so you get the recipe for mainly a heavy rain event with some damaging winds possible in spots, maybe some hail. Not really looking at a tornado threat with this, but nevertheless, lightning is also a threat for many storms, so be careful.